everyone, Amanda here. Today we are going to be doing a mat-based core workout. Let's get started with our warm-up. Sit up nice and tall. Lift your arms into a W. Let's bring them in so the upper arm is parallel to the floor. Exhale, pull the shoulder blades back. Exhale. Inhale. Try to lift your chest up nice and high, as though there's a string pulling your chest up toward the ceiling. Get that squeeze through the shoulder blades, getting nice and warm through the upper body, through the back and the shoulders. 2 more here. 1 left. And extend the arms out into a W. Let's lift up, push, and extend up. Inhale, pull the elbows down, slightly pulling the hands back. Push up, pull back and down, keeping those elbows in nice and tight. As you pull down, squeeze the shoulder blades back in together. Breathing through this, working on those postural muscles through the upper back. Again, keep that chest lifted, bracing through the core. 2 more here, push, pull. 1 more, push, and pull. Let yourself round through the shoulders, extend each of the legs out, and just let your feet flop down toward the center. Make a T with that upper body, lifting the chest. Take that right hand and let's swoop down, turning the palm up, stretching the hamstring in the lower back, and back up into that T. Left hand, swoop down, back up into that T. Exhale. Inhale, just a gentle stretch through the lower back, through the hamstrings, breathing through it, working through that dynamic flexibility. 1 more. And relax the arms down. We're going to take this into a plank position. So flip over into a plank position with your arms stacked, feet on the mat or the floor, wherever you feel stable. Heels back, and now we're going to push the chest into the shoulders. Keep the heels pushed back and brace through the abdominals. From here, try to round your back by hollowing your chest. You're pushing your upper back toward the ceiling, bracing, and then push the chest down into the shoulders. Now you're squeezing the shoulder blades back. Exhale, round the shoulders up toward the ceiling. Breathing through it, drop them down, squeeze the shoulder blades. Now the hips stay elevated the entire time, the chest is not resting. Round the shoulders. Imagine like you're pulling your shoulder blades apart. 1 more push down. Making sure you're not holding your breath. And lower your belly to the mat. Toes extended, arms out. Pull your belly button in, and your gaze should be down toward the floor. Let's lift right leg, left hand. Pull the abdominals in, lower it down. Other side. Right hand, left leg. Back down, left hand, right leg. Remember, we're still engaging the core here. The belly button is pulled in to engage the abdominals through the lift of the lower back and the glute. Exhale up. Inhale down. Pull that belly button in. 2 more. 1 left here. And into a quadruped position. Kneeling on the mat. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Back flat, chest out. From here, place your hand just behind your ear. Exhale and gently rotate up to the side and back down. Exhale. Inhale, breathing through it. Gently turning to the side so that your gaze is over to the right. 2 more. While keeping the hips square to the floor. 1 more. And lower it down. Over to the left hand, left ear. Back is flat. Let's go for 6. 6. Breathing through this. 5. Twisting gently through the core. 4. Abs braced. 3, belly button pulled in. 2, one more here, one more. 1. Once again, hands down, but this time we're going to place them slightly wider. So wide next to the mat, or if you're on a yoga mat, they can be on the mat. Toes on the floor so that your feet are stretched. And then we're going to lift the knees up and then push the chest into the shoulders. Once again, holding, maintaining that flat back. My knees are hovering just above my mat. From here, let yourself round through the shoulders. You're hollowing the chest. Keep holding through the hover in the knees, and then push the chest out. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Hold, hold. Once more, we're going to hollow the chest. Round out the shoulders here. Once more, push down. Hovering just above the mat. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees back down softly to the mat. Back to that plank position with forearms stacked. Walk the feet back. Drop the bum down. Push the heels back. And breathe. Holding this plank. Just an even hold here. Make a straight line from the top of the head to the bum, to the heels. So the bum is not lifted or in the air, but it's also not drooping down. We're keeping the hips engaged. 3, 2, 1. Lower the belly down to the mat. Once again, let's take it into swimming. Point the toes so the bottoms of the feet are down toward the floor. Extend the arms. Lift up right hand, left leg. Back down. Exhale. Alternating sides. Exhale forcefully out of the mouth as you lift, keeping the abdominals engaged, pulling the belly button in. Almost there. One more on either side. One left. And back to that quadruped position. Once again, hands flat on the mat. Knees directly under the hips. Shoulders pushed out. And let's press the chest into the shoulder blades. You're pushing your chest out, squeezing the shoulders. This time the knees are just relaxed on the mat. And then release the shoulders. Let's do this again. Push the chest into the shoulders. Squeeze. Allow tension to build through the shoulder blades. And release. Again, exhale. Push the chest into the shoulders. And release. Walk your hands a little wider. Same thing. So this is going to look like almost like you're doing a push-up with your upper body. Again, we're going to push the chest into the shoulders. Squeeze. You're pulling the shoulder blades back in together. And then release, relaxing them. Exhale, push the chest into the shoulders. So it's a really small movement, but we are really squeezing here. And release. One more. Exhale, push the chest into the shoulder blades. Soft elbows. And release. Let's take this over to a bridge position. Flipping over to a supine position on the mat, which means belly up. So feet on the floor, or if you're on a yoga mat, you can have your feet on the mat as long as you feel stable. Hands down at either side, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Now try to splay your toes out, gripping the floor with your toes. And let's lift up into the bridge. Now, you can either stay here, or if you feel stable and would like an added challenge, lift your arms up over the chest and just lift those hips just a little bit higher. Now drive the back of the shoulder blades down into the mat. Holding here and breathing evenly. Remember, we're keeping those toes splayed and we're still pressing both the heels and the toes into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Let's lower this down. We're going to take our bridge up a notch. So from here, we're going to cross the right leg over the left, turning the knee outward. Once again, you can place your hands on the mat, head down and relaxed. And from that left heel planted into the floor, let's push up, driving those hips up nice and high, staying as steady as possible. Now, once again, you can keep your hands here for that added base of support, or you can raise one single arm, raise that right arm, a little bit of instability here. Again, if you'd like an added challenge, raise the left arm. That's it. A little bit wobbly here if you're lifting both arms. Try to stabilize through the core, keeping the hips square. 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Let's take it over to the other side. Lower the right foot down, splaying the toes. Cross the left foot over. Once again, hands on the floor. Lift up. Remember, we're turning that knee slightly outward to try to keep the hips level. Then, if you'd like to stay here, go ahead and do so. Or lift the left arm. A little instability here. If you want to take it up a notch even further, lift that right arm. Hips up nice and high. You're driving the right heel down into the floor, holding that bridge. Don't let your hips drop down. If you need a little boost, lift them up just a little bit. You're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Lower those hips down. Partial curl up. So in this move, extend your right leg out, keeping the left leg bent. Cross the hands over the chest. In the partial curl up, as we lift, we're going to drive the lower back down into the floor and then lower back down. We are simply lifting the head, neck, and the back of the shoulders off of the mat. We are keeping the mid back and lower back engaged and connected with the mat. All right, let's go for 8 here. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, lower down. As you lift, forceful exhale through the mouth. Lifting up just enough that you might feel those abdominals shaking just a little bit. 4 more here. Remember, the goal is to contract the abdominals, but not add any strain to the mid or lower back. 2 more here. Exhale. Inhale, 1 left. And lower it down. Let's switch that leg. Right knee comes up, left leg extended with the heel pushed out, shoulders relaxed. Let's go for 8. Here we go. Exhale, 8. Now remember, exhale and gently press the lower back into the floor as you lift. Just the head, neck, and back of the shoulders comes up off the mat. Exhale up. Just enough to feel those abdominals kick in without adding any strain to that lower back. Remember, that is the key to our partial curl up. We've got 2 more here. Exhale. 1 more, driving that lower back down. And release the head, neck, and shoulders. Let's take this into a dead bug. Arms up. Bring both knees up with the ankles flexed so the toes are pointed up toward the ceiling and the heels are pressed out. Keep the head, neck, and shoulders relaxed. Now in this move, you can go same side or opposite sides. So for this, I'm going to do same side, but if you find yourself doing opposite, both are correct technique. So extend right arm, right leg, keeping that heel pushed out. Reach, reach, reach. Bring it in. Other side. Exhale. Extending through the left arm, left leg. Bring it back in. Again, try to keep that ankle flexed so the heel is always pushed out and the toes are always turned up toward the ceiling. They're pointing upward. That's it. Exhale, right side. So doing the same side, unilateral, or opposite sides, bilateral, is correct in the dead bug. Do whatever feels right for you, coordination-wise. 1 more here, left side. And release. Just lower your legs down, shake out your hips. From here, we're going to do another dead bug variation using the heels of the palms. We're going to exhale forcefully, pressing the heels of the palms into the knees as we draw them up. And remember that nice deep breath. All the air should be pushed out of the lungs on each rep. It's going to be nice and slow. All right, lower your legs down, shake them out. Heels of the palms are going to lift up, press into the thighs as we lift the legs back into the dead bug position. Inhale, Exhale, lift the legs up and press. Remember, the heels are pushed out. Empty the air out of the lungs nice and slow and release. Inhale, you can lower those legs down. Exhale. Release. Go at your pace. Whenever you empty out your lungs, and you feel the rib cage tighten, you can release. Exhale. Pulling and pushing in at the same time. Exhale. One more here. Inhale, exhale. Lower the legs down. Feet shoulder width apart. Again, just splay your toes, hands at either side, relaxing through the palms. Again, we're going to do some abdominal bracing. So we're going to push the lower back down toward the floor at the same time as exhaling forcefully through the mouth. Nice big inhale. Exhale and push the lower back down into the floor. We're keeping the head, neck, and shoulders connected to the mat. And release, let your lower back relax. Inhale, exhale. Gently pushing the lower back down into the mat, engaging the core, and release. Let that lower back rest. Two more here. Inhale, exhale. Once more, inhale, exhale. And release. Let's turn to the side. Side plank. So in this move, we're going to have the bottom knee bent on the mat, top leg extended. Now, oftentimes when we get into this position, that top leg is a little bit too far forward. Just walk it back so that your hip and heel align. Again, that front arm may be a little bit too far forward. We may be rounded through the back. Walk it back so that your shoulder is square to your hips. Place that top arm on top of your hips, and now let's boost up. Lifting up through the hips, pressing the hips up from the floor. Now, if you find that your head is forward, tuck the chin back. Push the chest out, pull the shoulder blades back and together, holding that side plank. From here, you can either stay with your hand on your hip or add some instability by extending your arm up, and then we're going to reach overhead, really reach, and arm back up. Reach those fingertips out overhead, reach, and back up. Keeping those hips elevated the entire time. Ready? Reach, and back up. Once more. Tuck that chin back if you find it going forward. Here we go. Reach, extending those fingertips, and back up. Lower those hips down. From here, we're going to flip our leg position. So, top leg is going to cross over top. Bottom leg is going to extend out, again with that heel pushed out and the ankle flexed. Lift the chest, gently pull the shoulder blades back and tuck your chin in. With that bottom leg, we're just going to lift up and down. Let's go for 8. Lift up, pull, and down. So you're pushing the heel out and gently lifting through the hip, squeezing the inside of the thigh. And while this exercise is not super fatiguing, it is great for long-term hip health and mobility. Keep that heel pushed out. One more. And lower it down. We're going to flip over onto our bellies. Do one more exercise before we go over to the other side for our side plank and hip health. All right, bellies on the mat, hands in nice and tight, palms on the mat right next to the chest. So from here, gently push up through the palms so that you're slightly arching the back, but the tops of your feet stay connected to the floor. Now pull your elbows back to feel the shoulder blades squeeze and extend through that right arm, almost like you're going to give someone a handshake. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Other side. 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, other side. Tuck that elbow back, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more on either side. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's flip over to the other side for our side plank. Once again, bottom knee is going to be bent, top leg extended with the heel pushed out. Now, again, walk that leg back a little bit. Keep it aligned with the hip. And if your arm is a little bit forward, bring it back. Hand on the hip, boost the hips up nice and high, push the heel out on that top leg, tuck that chin back, and just gently pull the elbow and shoulder back. Now, you can either stay here or extend the arm up and then overhead, reach, 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 extending those fingertips, bring that arm up. Keep those hips boosted. Let's get ready to reach. Here we go. Reach overhead, extending through those fingertips, back up. 2 more. Extend, reach, reach, reach. Fingertips extended here, heel pushed out. Bring it back up. Keep those hips up nice and high. Once more. Reach, reach, reach. Pulling the abdominals in and lower it down. Hips down. Let's swap out those feet. So once again, that top leg comes up and over. Bottom leg extended out with the heel pushed out. And forearm on the mat. You can place your hand on your hip or on the floor. Let's go for 8. Here we go. 8. Back down. Now you may notice, 7, there might be a slight difference in the range of motion from one leg to the other. And that's totally fine. By adding these hip health movements into our workouts, we can help to offset some imbalances that may occur in our hips. One more here. Lift up, squeeze, and back down. From here, we're going to take this to a seated position and just work on a little bit of foot health. First, we're going to stretch out our hips. And from here, interlock our fingers between our 2 first toes. Lift the chest, and then just gently pull those toes back. This is sandal season, so a little bit of extra foot care is always a good idea. Let's just gently stretch those feet a little bit more, pushing the heels together and pulling those toes outward. We're just letting the knees relax down to the mat. Breathing through it. We often stretch so many of the muscles in our body and forget about all those muscles in our feet that also should be stretched. And as I mentioned, you may notice during sandal season some weaknesses in your feet. When we start to wear more minimalist shoes, we might notice some minor foot pain or arch soreness. And then relax. Let yourself round here. We're just going to come to a cross-legged position, starting with that right foot. Just stack your right foot on top of your left. If this position is a little bit challenging for your hip mobility, feel free to take this to a chair so that you can cross one leg over. Now, once again, we're going to interlock our fingers between each of the toes, and this can be quite challenging. So if you're struggling to get those fingers in, there might be some tightness through the toes here. Do what you can for just separating through those toes. Now take the heel of your palm pressed against your foot and just gently drive those toes slightly back, getting that nice big stretch through the toes here. Nice big inhale and exhale. Relaxing the shoulders. Adding some foot stretches into any of your barefoot workouts, such as core work or a kettlebell workout, is a great way to ensure that you're looking after your feet. And from here, just release that stretch, but we're going to give our foot a little bit of space to move around. So just lift that foot up and let's do some rotations here. We're keeping the fingers interlaced between the toes. breathing through this. Switch directions, going through those rotations, guiding that foot. And this is good for hip health as well. Just in this seated position, we're going through a little bit of hip flexibility and relax. Stretch out that foot, just wiggle it around. Now splay those toes, stretch them out. And relax, point the toes. Once again, splay the toes, wiggle them around, move that foot around, and relax. Let's take it over to the other side. So left foot now, once again, we're just going to gently cross it over. You can do this seated in a chair. You may find that from one side to the other, there can be less flexibility. So you can always switch if you need to. Once again, we're going to interlace those fingers between the toes, and you might even find from one foot to the other, there could be less flexibility through your toes. So let's interlace those toes, and then using the heel of your palm, gently press the toes back, just extending and releasing some of that tension through the toes. Nice big inhale. And exhale, try to relax your shoulders as much as you can. Don't worry too much about sitting up really tall here. If you can, sit up tall if it's comfortable for you, but if you do need to round a little bit, that's okay. And from here, keep those fingers interlaced between the toes. Just lift that foot up and let's go through some rotations. And again, you might find one side is a little tighter than the other. Doing these rotations, doing these toe stretches are really going to help with that. Switch directions. Adding some foot health movements into your day-to-day workout routines on a weekly basis can help with that foot health in the long term. Lower it down. Once again, let's splay those toes, extending through the toes, wiggle that foot around as needed, just to get that tension out. Now point and flex. And once again, wiggle the toes, splaying the toes, try to separate them. Do what feels right here for your feet. And relax. Now let's extend the other leg out. From here, we're going to practice some inversion and eversion. So inversion is turning our ankles inward, so the bottoms of our feet are facing inward. And eversion, I'm sure you guessed now, is turning them out. So just a slight rotation here so that the bottoms of the feet are pressed outwards. Inhale to inversion. Exhale to eversion. Inhale. Exhale. One more in each direction. Inhale. And exhale. And lastly, just bring those feet in. Once again, just try to splay your toes and try to press your toes into the floor. Push them down into the floor, letting tension build. You might feel a little bit through the hamstring here as well. And release. Wiggle those toes around, wiggle the ankles around, letting that tension go. And bring it in. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're all done for today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day.